first time I saw that video, I did cry. I did shed tears. You know, first time I watched that video, and I watched it once and one time only. I've never watched it again because it's too. It's just emotionally draining just watching it, and it just takes a lot from me. And I just it just takes me to a place where I don't want to be mentally.
I actually did resign from quite a big corporate finance company in November because I experienced institutional and systematic racism. I've been there since 2005, and I've gone from department to department, leadership and other different roles, even in Canary Wharf as well. I ended up having to, it literally took me to a very, very low place personally. I've gone through depression because of it, anxiety, a lot of low places as well. But I'm very fortunate that I've got a network of brothers and sisters, kings and queens, like my 4 brothers that you've invited on the call today, who have helped me uplift myself through that, and ended up finding myself, fortunately, with these same brothers going to protect our youth and the children of our future from both the terrorists and, unfortunately, from the police as well, who are supposed to be there to be protecting us. We found ourselves in a very challenging position, which is technically what it's like being a black person in the world right now, where not only do we have the threat from terrorists, but the people who are paid and enforced to protect us. Jamaine Facey himself witnessed the day before a horse, or a woman that fell off, a police officer that fell off a horse, charging at our youth and our children, and that's what inspired Jamaine to reach out to us. And it just sparked for Jamaine to reach out, and then Pierre also reached out as well. Pierre reached out to myself, and then iwilltell and Pat, because we don't have the protection that we technically should have as men, as women, as children. The powers that be right now have clearly been getting it wrong for far too long, and enough is enough. So we had to take that responsibility on ourselves. We didn't have faith in the systems that are there, whether it's a corporate environment, whether it's in council, whether it's in parliament. Right now, I can't think of a place where it's safe for our children and for ourselves.
In terms of going up there, you know, we went up there together as a group. You know, we're really good friends. We're all fathers. We're all. I'm a grandfather. We're all fathers. We're all uncles. We're all brothers. And we just went up there as a family unit to try and make sure that our young men and women and children didn't get themselves into any trouble.
We left our houses as concerned parents, and thinking that if the terrorist came out with his friends, what would happen to our daughters and our young sons and stuff like that? Because when I went down there on the Wednesday, on the Saturday before, when the police officer fell off the horse, when she galloped into a traffic light, I saw how they was handling our children and our daughters and our young women and young men out there, and it was disgusting. And when I was looking around, I couldn't see no adults, no so-called big boys, big men, the guys who I see out in the clubs every weekend. I couldn't see none of them out there. So when I found out it was cancelled, and in my mind I was thinking, I can't sit in my house and watch on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram our women, our kids getting manhandled by the police and by the terrorists.
It was a second nature. There's nothing to it. It was just second nature. We just went straight at it. Where me and Pierre in security, it was quite normal for us to go and protect or intervene in what was happening. So just really second nature, and just something that we're really used to doing. And being in a scenario like that, we're all used to it. Being coming from a martial arts background and combat, we just dive straight in, really, you know.
Yeah. I don't regret it because I saved a human's life. You know, like I keep saying, we're just one race. We're just one race, and our the different colours of our skin are just different. The consequences of where we live, according to the equator. Some of us live a lot closer to the equator than others, but we're all one race. the fact that he has certain views, you know, when you're about to save someone from potential, you know, potential peril, you don't think about, you know, oh, by the way, he does this or he does that, I won't bother that. It's not, you can't think like that. It's just like, okay, this person needs my help and I'll go and help them. You know, I would never sit by and stand by and be party to anybody's life, you know, being threatened. I don't care who you are, you know. It's just not who I am, you know. I would always step in. I'll always be a good Samaritan. And we're all like that. Every single last one of us, we're all like that. We're the same.
The Good Samaritan story, there's a guy going down a road. He gets beaten up. Some priest walks past on the other side. A lawyer walks past on the other side. But then a Samaritan, who is traditionally their enemy, picks up the guy, takes him to a hotel, pays the costs for him to be looked after, saves him, basically. And when that story is read traditionally in the West, predominantly by white churches, people read that story and think that the story means they must help anybody who's in need. If you read that story, for example, in Kenya, where they did a study of how people read that story in Kenya, they read the story as you should accept help from anyone, even if it's your enemy. And there is a presumption in the reading from the white person that they think themselves the hero. Now, I have listened this week to podcasts and speakers across the world where leaders, white church leaders, are going, oh, wait a minute, I'm not the Samaritan, actually. And I think there is a realization going on here, and I really hope that this isn't just a moment, but I do hope this is a sea change, because we have to get away from those presumptive, institutionalized ways of looking at things. Chris was talking earlier about education. Chris, I am so sorry for the way you were treated, man. You know, that's just wrong, but it's in education. It's in every area of our civil life that we need to address this. We have to speak out. We have to tell stories.
What we've been hearing is that our assumptions and presuppositions and our unconscious conditioning has been challenged by this story, and that they are indeed contemporary manifestations of the Good Samaritan story.
But for me, the most important thing is unity. So unity. I've said it all the time. I think a lot of my friends know it. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, wherever you are, we need to come together. This is time that the white man recognize that. The ones that haven't recognized it, they need to recognize it now. So unity is very important for us right now. And that's what I'm aiming for. And then secondly, when I was young, before I came to England, I was told Great Britain was shown as the land of God or heaven. That's the feeling I had from Africa. So when I came here, after a couple of years, I was very disappointed because I got racially abused and a lot of things happened. Again, I want Great Britain to be the token of the rest of the Western world, to show that they don't put up with any racism. They don't put up with discrimination. They don't, you know, they embrace equality. So this is the time for Great Britain to make that move. Let Great Britain be great by, you know, putting these things in place. So for me, if you could do that, I'm happy.
We just got to be true to history, and it's not worth it's not worth being shamed. Things happen. So if we're true to history and true to what has been done, we can all move on. Germany, they denounced what they did with the Jews, and they took down all the statues. But Great Britain, America, they say it regarding slavery, but they haven't denounced. And when Great Britain really denounced and takes everything down, I don't really care too much about the statues, but I'm just saying, yeah, and take ownership for what they've done across the world. Then people can move on, because it's not good. Us and Boris Johnson saying Britain's not racist and stuff like that. Let's be true. The system is racist. The police officer is racist, and that police officer, all of his arrests should be looked at. And that's one of the things that I, in this journey, want to happen. is literally, even if nothing else happens, all of his arrest gets looked into. And that's one of the main things in my mind that I feel should be done.
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed with all the positive feedback and energy, not just in the UK, but from over the world. You know, if the actions of me and the other guys and my brothers, what we've done, if that brings us a step closer to equality, then and to change the views on anybody who is racist or has an opinion on a black man, it's and I hope it does change them. I hope it does change.
5 black men who have experienced their own racism, but have not allowed it to embitter them and to make them turn away from a white man who is racist and who held a position of trust, had a duty of care within our society to actually do good by people that he was paid to look after, but he harbored these racist values. And I think there's something here about the assumptions we make about people. And even with the story of Patrick and friends, Chris and Lee and Pierre and the rest of the guys, Jamaine, some people will still find it hard to believe that this is not an aberration, that this is not a kind of anachronistic reality of what it means to be black. This is what black men are about. This is what the black community is about. And I'm not saying we're better than anybody else. I'm saying we're at least equal. And when given the opportunity to express humanity in a free and a fair way, we do it in the way that these guys have done it. And so I want to say again to them, because they're not going to hear it enough, thank you very much for reminding the world exactly who we are. You've made us feel very proud, and you've brought some healing to our hearts, because we're hurting about Brother George Floyd. We've seen one brother with a knee crushing his neck. But what you guys have showed us is that when there's a little bit of pressure taken off that neck, there's a humanity that becomes visible and manifest, and the whole world has seen it. Thank you very, very much for representing who we are to the world. Thank you.